Hello, madam. Hello, mistress.
Speak quickly, mortal.
Okay, geez. You know what? These guys are always in such a rush, but, like, I don't even want to talk to them in the first place, so, like, fuck off is what I gotta say about that. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. We're reading our second... What's up with your... Okay. Bro, from a distance, their arms are, like, like, angled outwards when they walk. I don't know if anybody else just noticed that.
How may I serve?
But that was some creepy-ass shit. How's it going, dude? Alright, anyway. Yeah, today is our second to last day reading a shit ton of different books. We have 5 books remaining in this entire game with all its DLCs and whatnot for us to complete reading. So, yeah, we're going to probably read 2 or 3 of those books today, depending on how long those books end up being. But the first one that we got on store is the Shivering Beastiary. I imagine this is going to be about all the different types of creatures in the Shivering Isles. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Namlear's Shivering Beastiary, by Namlear Espring. From my good friend and colleague Venristwi, who protected the creatures of all the realms. Although my early education involved extensive research into all forms of fauna, nothing prepared me for the surprises I've uncovered while exploring the Shivering Isles in the Great Expedition. Even though I've lived here all my life, I am just now discovering how wonderful and unique the creatures of the Isles can be. The expedition was an extensive 6-year exploration of every nook and cranny of the Isles in an attempt to categorize the indigenous fauna and record this information back for posterity in science. Below, I've done my best to describe each creature in detail. Please note that this information was obtained at the cost of many lives, and this work should be regarded as the most complete and definitive reference of its kind. The Ballywag. The Ballywag is an extraordinarily ugly aquatic-dwelling creature that frequents the lakes. That's just your opinion. That frequents the lakes, rivers, and bogs of the Shivering Isles. Although the Ballywag, or it's Ballywog. Although the Ballywog, or Wog, as some of the locals call it, walks... I've never heard anyone ever refer to it as just the Wog, but sure. Walks on all fours, it should by no means be considered stupid or docile. A fully grown adult Ballywog can deliver a nasty blow from its claws or a potentially deadly bite from its razor-sharp teeth. The lethality of this beast comes not from the actual damage it can deliver, but from the horrible diseases it seems to generate. Also of note is the Ballywog's uncanny ability to regenerate when immersed in water. From our observations, it's best just to avoid these brutes, although... they're like the easiest ones to fight. Although it's said some of them carry flawless pearls. Apparently some of them carry flawless pearls. Just not any of the ones I ever fight when I'm looking for flawless pearls. Anyway, it's apparently said that some of them carry flawless pearls in their bodies, though it is not known why they would swallow them, or what use they may serve to the creatures. Elytra. The elytra are large insect-like creatures indigenous to much of the Isles, although there is a marked color difference between the northern mania variety and the southern dementia variety. They are remarkably similar in behavioral patterns in physical makeup. The elytra pose a serious threat to the casual traveler, as they have 2 interesting mechanisms that benefit them in combat. The first is their uncanny ability to block weapon attacks. Through my observations, I have deduced that they utilize their antenna as an early warning system to detect incoming attacks, say from a sword, blade, or an arrow. The antenna sends a signal to their brains, and they instinctively lift their arms to block. Their second ability is natural venom in their sting. This venom is very deceiving and is very low yield, but its real deadly nature comes from its duration. Gone unchecked, the venom can slay the average man over a period of hours, especially deadly in the Elytra matron's venom, which can last much longer than the poisons found on the lesser varieties of the creature. Flesh Atronach. One of the most unusual creatures in the Isles, the Flesh Atronach appears as a sewn-together conglomeration of skin and muscle adorned with mystical symbols and wearing an iron collar. Although it's uncertain whether Sheogorath or some other Daedric prince created this creature, it's obvious that the intent was to use them as guardians. Usually found inhabiting underground ruins, the Flesh Atronach will defend areas it's set to guard until it's destroyed. A unique visual feature of this creature is the energy spots located on its body. These colored areas seem to glow with an inner light and denote the power of the Atronach. In increasing order of magnitude, these seem to be yellow, purple, and red. The function for these spots is still a mystery, but from my observation, I suspect them to be a magic dampening gland of some kind. As expected, the flesh Atronachs are all completely impervious to disease and poison, and highly resistant to fire and frost. Shock magic seems to affect them adversely, which appears to be their largest weakness. The purple and red varieties also seem to possess innate magic abilities, including healing and fireballs. The Gnarl. Perhaps the strangest creature of all is the Gnarl, or walking tree, as it's sometimes called. Like the elytra, this animated plant can be found roaming almost anywhere on the Isles. One of Sheogorath's truly unique creations, the Gnarl has the most unusual trait of being able to use magic cast upon it and harness that power to bolster its own defense. Once struck with fire, frost, or lightning, the Gnarl grows physically larger and becomes resistant to just that element for a short time. Interestingly, this is where the Gnarl's vulnerability comes into play. At the same time, the Gnarl is resisting that element it was struck with. It becomes vulnerable to all of the other elements. Our guide on the expedition demonstrated this by striking the Gnarl with a flame arrow, then a frost arrow, and then back to a flame arrow, and so on. Grummite. The Grummite, I don't even know, none of these words are large, I don't know where I'm getting large from. The Grummite represents the only native weapon-wielding creature in the Shivering Isles. These primitive aquatic-born humanoids are organized in a tribal-like system, though it is uncertain who or what they worship. It would be presumed the Grummites worship Sheogorath, their creator, but their religious totems don't seem to bear the mad god's likeness. What is known is that they maintain a simple hierarchy, including shaman and boss Grummites who seem to command the rest. The Grummite have mastered the art of spellcasting as well, evidenced by the Magus Grummite, which can be quite deadly. Yeah, the other book that we mentioned was like, oh, we don't really believe Grummites can cast spells. This one's like, nah, they definitely do. Curiously, the Grummite possesses a defense mechanism similar to the Ballywog. When immersed in water, the Grummite will begin to regenerate damaged flesh. Unlike the Ballywog, this regeneration extends to rain as well. Interesting, making them quite formidable on a stormy day. This aquatic healing ability leads me to believe the Ballywog and Grummite are somehow related, but even in my extensive research, I was unable to come up with a solid connection. Well, you'll have to refer to the other book then for that information. Hunger. If any creature represents the darker side of Sheogorath, it's the Hunger. These are pure-born Daedric creatures placed here on the Isles as servitors and guards. The Hunger is not to be trifled with. It boasts superior speed and lightning reflexes, along with its primary ability of draining its victims' fatigue. My best advice when encountering this horrible creature is to give it a wide berth or slay it quickly. Be wary, as it is said that conjuration magic exists that is able to summon the Hunger and unleash it upon the caster's foes. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the case for every type of magic, if I'm not mistaken, but sure. Scalon, another aquatic native of the Shivering Isles. A lot of aquatic enemies in the Shivering Isles. Another aquatic native of the Shivering Isles is the Scalon. Looking strikingly similar to an upright Ballywog, the Scalon features large fin-laden appendages and dorsal spines. These creatures are usually quite fearsome, lumbering slowly after its prey. Don't mistake its speed for its weakness, as the Scalon has an incredible leaping attack that allows it to strike at its victims from a surprising distance. Another connection that it shares with the Ballywog is that its bite or claws can transfer disease to its victim. It's recommended that these creatures be dealt with at extreme range with spells or missiles, as they can be quite ferocious in close proximity. Shambles. The shambles appears to be some sort of an undead construct made of bone and lashed together with wire or bits of cloth. Oddly, the bones used in their makeup appear to have no correlation to one another. They might have skulls for kneecaps or leg bones for arms, to cite a few examples. The shambles may be undead, but they pursue any victim as if they were a predator chasing down its prey. Like its undead, bony brethren, the shambles is fully resistant to disease, poison, and paralysis. However, they possess a unique resistance to all frost magic. Furthermore, upon death, the shambles will explode in a spectacular shower of frost. This ability seems to have been added by its creator as an interesting last-ditch defense mechanism. This fact was initially unknown to me, and one of our best guides was lost when his hammer struck the fatal blow. If you intend to combat these undead creatures, be certain to carry frost protection or destroy them at range. The Skinned Hound. These nasty undead beasts are generally encountered inside and around the ruins that dot the Isles. The Skinned Hound is extremely fast and agile, and has an insatiable hunger for flesh. Like the Flesh Atronach, it appears to be all skin and muscle that is roughly sewn together, but I am uncertain whether they are summoned or merely constructed. The Skinned Hound is not an adversary. Bro spent 6 years out here studying this shit, and doesn't even, know too many of the details. I've done all the stuff that I've done in this game has been done in probably a year or two game time. Crazy. Anyway, they feature an incredible invisible charging attack, not unlike a ghost, limited frost resistance, and a complete immunity to disease and poison. This beast's weakness is fire. They don't seem intelligent enough to be frightened by it, but it's certainly very efficient at dispatching them quickly. Although this work only touches upon the combat-related aspects of the creatures, I feel this is of primary importance to any traveler within the confines of the Shivering Isles. In future works, I will touch upon the other aspects of these creatures, such as reproduction or creation, magical origins, and even some delicious recipes I've discovered in my travels. Okay, well, good. At least he's discovered some other stuff, yeah. My best advice when walking the roads and paths of the Isles is to remain ever vigilant and always be prepared. Knowing your foe can mean the difference between a gruesome death and survival, just in general. Not a one singular survival. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Yeah, I wonder how long we have actually been playing this game, technically. Game time. It's the year 435. I want to say things started in 433 in this game? I could be wrong. Let me check that. Alright, so the game starts on the 27th of Last Seed in the year 3rd Era 433. And looking at that now, Last Seed is, surprisingly enough, not the last year of the year, as one would expect. It is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is the 8th month of the year, so essentially August. We'll call it August. Last Seed, yeah. No, that actually makes sense, Derp. Yes, the game starts in Last Seed, or the 8th month of the year. So in game time, and then right now we're in mid-year, which is probably the 6th, I would imagine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, so it has been almost 2 full years in game time since when we first started this game. It has been, in real life, it has been probably closer to 5 real years, which is goddamn terrifying. Yeah, that's a little scary, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah. Alright. Let's see, we wanted to read at least 1 or 2 more books today, depending on how long these books are. The Ravings of Fenroy. And what else do we have? Prophet? We could do those too. And that would leave Saints and Seducers, which is 15 pages, as well as Myths of Sheogorath, which is 20 pages. Alright, that works out perfectly. Alright, The Ravings of Fenroy. The following pieces were gathered from the author's cell shortly before his untimely death at his own hands. This man at the Hill of Suicides? I don't really know. Anyway, written primarily on bed sheets and the bare stone of his floor, using only his own bodily fluids for ink. God damn. Some of the transcriptions represents the editor's best guesses at the author's true intent. Mother said there was no reason. It's just the way it is. Mother lies. I can see rain. I can feel rain. I can only feel wind. Someone is hiding. If I walk through the forest, the birds stop singing. They're talking about me. I'm sure of it. They're just too scared to do it in my face. Boat, moat, coat, float, goat, note, wrote. Secret name, secret name, secret name, secret name. He touches me when I'm not looking. Oh! Sometimes... Oh boy. Sometimes I hear the people talking about their days. They talk about family and the weather and yesterday and tomorrow. They say, what a good day it was, and how was your day, and have a nice day. I say, talk, 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 talk. How can you enjoy your day when you share it with everyone? Time is a private thing. The dragon hides it from us all, parceling it out in dribs and drabs. Save your time, save your time. I keep mine locked up tight, where no one can find it, not even him. Hold me now, rock me gently. Oh, man, it sounds like a song. Hold me now, rock me gently. All right, maybe not that aggressive, but you know what I mean, though. Sounds like a job. Sounds like a song. My tears are burning, dear. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Hold your breath. One big one now. One last gasp, and we're done. Bro, that could really... That sounds... I'm going to take that for some song lyrics, because goddamn. He talks all the time, but his words are useless. Talking, talking. Let's talk. Never doing, always talking. Words become meaningless. They float on the air, dissipate like past gas. Completely understand that. Make him... I know a lot about past gas, all right? Dissipate like past gas. Make him stop talking. Make him stop talking to me. Always take care when dealing with women. Relationship advice now, yes. They see things we do not. A smile, a glance. They mean nothing to us, everything to them. Oh, okay, maybe not the best relationship advice. They twist their smiles to meet our own. They avert a gaze just so. Watch them closely. They rule the world. They rule the world. They just don't know it. I don't know if this man is a feminist or just a bad person saying that. Some of that stuff was a little dicey, but some of it was like, yeah, good bravo woman, but at the same time is like, I'm kind of just, I don't know, I don't even fucking know. Weird. Am I indecisive? Yes and no. Yeah. Am I indecisive? Yes and no. Yes, you are indecisive. They came to bring me food today. I ate it, though I know it was poisoned. They laced it with black flour and edgeroot. They think it keeps me quiet, sedate. I know better. Sometimes I chew up the bread and spit it into the corners of my cell. No one notices, and the rats eat it after a time. It keeps them quiet, sedate. When I eat the rats, the poison is more dilute, and I gain their memories. Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, sure. I don't believe it's fair that I'm forced to deal with the stupid, or the obtuse, or the pedantic. I don't know. They give me rules, like go here and do that and eat this and kill that. They don't know that I know their names. Eventually I'll get to them, and I'll make the rules. Just you wait and see good gods come and go, but all lords eventually fall. A god can wake up mortal. If I learn from my mistakes, will I eventually stop making them? Is there a balance I can achieve, a perfect harmony with myself? Shall I seek that point where there are no more mistakes to be made? All the lessons learned. When that happens, do we die? Do we become gods? Do the gods even want us? Man, that actually was incredibly deep, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe all dogs go outside deliberately. The two dogs I got back at home, those bitches don't go outside. They don't like going outside. It's fucking annoying. At least one of them. One of them doesn't. One of them likes it. At least they don't like going outside on their own. You know, you always gotta take them for a walk. Anyway, maybe a decision gets overly deliberate. Might a dream grow overly demented? He knows. Stories are for children and dreamers. Poetry is for weaklings and madmen. Bro, you were writing so much poetry in here. I guess he is Madman. All right. Epics glorify the vile and vilify the glorious. Read minds, not words. I think it's time to go. He's still in my head, but I think he might leave if I'm quiet. Shh. Okay, yeah, definitely a lot of ravings of Fenroy right there. I don't know who the fuck Fenroy is, but the man was indeed raving, no doubt about it. And then we've got the Prophet Arden-Sul. The Prophet Arden-Sul, Volume 2, yeah, there's no other Volume 1, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with that, but whatever. By the Sacilum. That's not actually by the Sacilum, but it's just the Sacilum. Alright. When one approaches the walls of New Sheoth, the eyes are unavoidably drawn to a magnificent sight. A mystical flame rises from a simple tower that juts from a circular building. To some, the flame is a beacon of strength and guidance. To others, a mockery of their beliefs. It is the epicenter of a most interesting conflict. Two sides of the same coin vying for the favor of their god. It is an unremarkable building with a most remarkable past. It is the Prophet Arden-Sul. Although the Sachem itself predates Arden-Sul's life, both the Manics and the Demented contest the history of the Sachem heavily. The Manics believe that on the very spot before New Sheoth existed, Arden-Sul was first afflicted with the grand enlightenment and became blinded. The Demented postulates that the Sachem was the location where Arden-Sul endured the 100-day torture. However, it was not these purported events of Arden-Sul's life that aligned the Sachem with the prophet's name. It was his death. Here again, the Manics and the Demented are divided. The Manic story of Arden-Sul's death begins with a night of superlative revelry in the Sachem. The event was replete with a seemingly inexhaustible supply of green motes and spirits. Arden-Sul and his 213 followers engaged in a veritable orgy of merrymaking and overindulgence, a night fraught with the profusion of singing, dancing, and fornicating. As the celebration reached a crescendo and the event reached its whirlwind apex, one by one, Arden-Sul's followers began to drop to the ground, their lifeblood draining from their bodies until the ground was soaked a crimson red. The excesses of their hedonism had taken its toll and had caused their very hearts to explode. Although details are uncertain, it was said Arden-Sul was the last to die with the look of pure bliss upon his face. The Demented have a radically different story of the events leading to Arden-Sul's demise. Fearing that one of his followers would one day turn traitor and bury a blade in his back, Arden-Sul sought a method to see deep into a man's soul and reveal his true feelings. After an exhaustive search, he uncovered the secrets of the visceromancy, the science of divination, through the observation of the entrails of others. Armed with this knowledge, he summoned his flock to the Sachem. After imbibing the wine Arden-Sul gave them, his followers suddenly felt themselves paralyzed, aware of their surroundings but unable to move. Then, one by one, Arden-Sul cut out their still-beating hearts of his followers and read their lifeblood. After removing all 213 hearts, he still hadn't located the traitor. Furious, he reached into his own chest and tore out his own heart. Before the light faded from his eyes, Arden-Sul was reported to have realized the ironic truth. He was the traitor, destined to kill himself. Whether or not one chooses to take either of these stories seriously is of little importance. The truth remains that the Sachem is a significant location of a highly regarded prophet's death. To this day, the building is still shared among the Manics and the Demented, and depending on Lord Sheogorath's whim, the favored side becomes its ruling body. That is another book that will be important to us later on in the storyline. And with that, we now have 2 books remaining in all of this goddamn game. We got Saints and Seducers, a nice 15-page book, and we got The Myths of Sheogorath, an 18-page book. And yeah, once those are done, we can finally, head back inside and continue the main storyline with Sheogorath. Yeah, it's been a little while. Sheogorath, for some reason, right, the almighty Sheogorath, in all his knowledge that he has, and all his, the world's coming to an end kind of deal and whatnot, he, the man who has zero patience whatsoever with people, seems to have a lot of patience with me. I ain't gonna lie, I've been sitting in the courtyard for a very long time reading books now. And the man's like, you know what? He doesn't have a problem with that for some reason. He probably should. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. So with that, thank you guys for watching. When next we return, you already know what we're doing. We're finishing those last 2 books. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and goodbye. God, that blue sky looks absolutely stunning, dude. That crucible-ass sky right there. That's just so sexy. So sexy. Oh, God. Love the design. Love the design. All right, goodbye.
Cause I don't wanna see the glow without you. Refuse to even leave my home without you. Or my brain's gonna explode without you. I don't even know how to cope without you. Cause I don't wanna see the glow without you. Refuse to even leave my home without you. Or my brain's gonna explode without you. I don't even know how to cope without you.